Conor McGregor just can't seem to keep himself out of trouble, whether it's causing brawls in the octagon, throwing insults online, or getting into fights in pubs. McGregor is never far from controversy. This time, though, he might be in legal trouble. His former teammate and friend Artem Lobov is suing him over his Proper No. 12 brand, which he sold for $600 million. So why does Artem think he deserves a slice of the pie? And will he take up McGregor on his offer to settle it in the octagon? Stay tuned for all of that, plus more, coming right up. First up, McGregor settles in court. Conor McGregor is being hit by lawsuits left, right, and center, and after 4 years, he has finally wrapped up one of his. It was from his notorious bus attack back in 2018. McGregor may have been aiming to scare his bitter rival Khabib, but some other fighters got caught in the firing line. One of those was welterweight Michael Chiesa, who sued McGregor after the attack. Chiesa pulled out of his scheduled fight against Anthony Pettis at UFC 223 because of injuries from the attack. Chiesa was hit with shards of glass that cut open his forehead, and he was sent to hospital. And clearly he wasn't happy with the justice system letting McGregor go with a community service order and looked for his own compensation instead. Chiesa filed a civil suit against McGregor, citing assault, negligence, emotional distress, and battery as just some of the damages. Chiesa's fight with Pettis was rebooked for UFC 226 and he lost, but he went on to win 4 fights in a row before a recent slump last year. A source familiar with the court case between Chiesa and McGregor has claimed that the two have reached a settlement outside of court. The details of the agreement are not public, but Conor likely gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. Since debuting with the UFC in 2013, McGregor has gone on to become a global superstar, pocketing an estimated $130 million from his boxing fight with Floyd Mayweather and having plenty of success outside the fighting world too. This has pumped his net worth up to more than $200 million, so he probably has some spare cash lying around to settle lawsuits. Next, why is McGregor bulking up? But there's more than just McGregor's bank balance that's bulking up. On a recent night out, he showed off his body transformation ahead of his predicted return to the octagon in 2023. The former featherweight, who used to fight at a maximum of 145 pounds last year, claimed that he was walking around at a staggering 190 pounds, which would put him in the light heavyweight division, the same division John Jones used to fight in. Surely, McGregor isn't thinking of making his long-awaited comeback to the light heavyweight. Then again, McGregor doesn't have a shortage of fighters calling him out. He is still the PPV superstar of the sport, and since he was defeated by Khabib Nurmagomedov, has never looked the same. But even for McGregor, fighting at 190 pounds would be crazy. He would be skipping 3 divisions since his last bout with Dustin Poirier, which took place in the lightweight division in the middle of last year. McGregor lost that fight after a doctor stoppage at the end of the first round when the Irishman brutally broke his leg. It was the third time the two fought, with Poirier getting the better of McGregor in their last 2 meetings. And since then, he has looked to be more interested in appearing in the Hollywood screen than the sports channel. He is set to appear in the reboot of Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal and a 4-part Netflix documentary centering around his life. His acting career may be part of the reason that he has bulked up so dramatically, but there has been speculation of something fishy going on behind the scenes. McGregor's mind-blowing transformation is too much for some to believe is natural, and one man is leading the accusations. That's Joe Rogan, who has accused McGregor of using steroids. McGregor has been out of MMA since his injury in July of 2021. That's almost a year and a half ago. Since then, the Irishman has posted pictures of himself living the life on his Lamborghini yacht, promoting his chain of bars, and bulking up to get ready for a UFC return. And that bulking has caused a bombshell accusation from UFC commentator and podcast host Joe Rogan. On a recent episode of his show, Rogan accused McGregor of using performance-enhancing drugs. He said, "He looks like his piss would melt the USADA cup." Rogan went on to say that there was a loophole in USADA's testing program that meant McGregor could opt out of the testing pool to get juiced up before returning to the pool. Of course, McGregor wasn't going to take that accusation lying down. In a tweet, McGregor posted 2 pictures of Rogan side by side, one at age 25 and one at age 52. He seemed to be suggesting that Rogan himself was using steroids. And Rogan wasn't done there with his accusations. He also claimed that former WWE athlete and Hollywood superstar Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was on steroids. Another name that Rogan lumped in there was Brock Lesnar, the former UFC heavyweight champion who was long suspected of performance-enhancing drugs. He urged Dwayne Johnson to come clean about his drug use for the sake of his fans. For The Rock, the consequences of admitting to steroid use might be a little embarrassing, but for McGregor, it would jeopardize his entire career. You can't exactly openly talk about steroid use and get away with it. Remember when Nate Diaz said everyone's on steroids? Maybe he was right. Coming up, how much much money is Artem Lobov suing McGregor for? And how does the Notorious want to settle their beef? So don't go anywhere. So what is Conor's former teammate Artem Lobov claiming? From friends to enemies. Once upon a time, Conor McGregor and Artem Lobov were inseparable. They became close during season 22 of The Ultimate Fighter when Lobov competed on McGregor's team. The Russian Hammer didn't have much success on the big stage though. He lost his fight against Ryan Hall at the Ultimate Fighter season finale, and over the next 6 fights only posted 2 victories. That included 3 straight losses between 2017 and 2018, which got him dropped from the UFC. But McGregor was in his corner almost every time. From there, Lobov went in a different direction. He joined the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, which is exactly as brutal as it sounds. There, he had a little more success, winning 2 out of his 3 fights. But since last year, Lobov has been fairly quiet. That might have been because he was preparing a major lawsuit against his old pal Conor McGregor. Lobov claimed in an interview that he was the mastermind behind McGregor's whiskey brand, Proper 12, rather than the Irishman.
And that's heroic to me.
According to him, they first thought of starting a vodka brand, but then decided whiskey would be more fitting with McGregor's image. He is looking to be paid about $30 million for his claims, and his lawyer said that there was an agreement between McGregor and Lobov on the Proper 12 whiskey brand. He also claimed, "My client was the initial creator and co-founder of the concept." Lobov also revealed that he will be writing about the story in a book that talked about his relationship with McGregor. It used to be McGregor accusing his rivals of having snakes in their entourage, and now he thinks he has the perfect way to make things right. McGregor has challenged Lobov to a fight. Like any true fighter, Conor McGregor said that he would rather settle his issue with Artem Lobov in the octagon. The Notorious described Lobov as an uncooked sausage before setting a time for a potential fight. But it wasn't going to be a UFC-sanctioned fight. Instead, McGregor invited Lobov to his local gym on the same day that he tweeted. McGregor said, "This is a call-out. I'm challenging you to a fight tonight at 10:30 p.m. at SBG Concord. We'll fight for the whole lot." Lobov was certainly no stranger to the gym. He trained with McGregor there under coach John Kavanaugh for years and even helped out with McGregor's training camps. But it would have been a different atmosphere if he had accepted the fight. Clearly, Lobov didn't show up. Taking a wild guess, his lawyer probably advised against it. McGregor called Lobov a slew of insults to try to bait him, but doesn't seem to have worked. Lobov knows that if his case is successful, he stands to gain enough money that would set him up for life. How much things have changed. It was actually McGregor's friendship with Lobov that set off the infamous bus incident, when Khabib Nurmagomedov surrounded and intimidated Lobov in the build-up to UFC 223. McGregor and his entourage responded by attacking Khabib's bus, throwing dollies, and eventually getting arrested. It's not public what went wrong between McGregor and Lobov, but they definitely aren't on speaking terms anymore. And unless the matter is settled early on, they could soon be facing off against each other inside the courtroom. Will McGregor ever make his way back to fighting for championships, or is he better off focusing on his business venture? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more MMA content. See you in the next one.